Is Kyle Monangai one of the most underrated running backs in the 2025 NFL draft class? Let's find out. Welcome back to the All Pro Football Data Show. My name is Jim Cobern, and today's episode we're talking about Rutgers running back Kyle Monangai. He recently got a invite to the NFL Combine. That at least was reported about the Rutgers players that were invited. And I feel like we need to do a profile on him because he does have some interesting data to discuss. There is some ups and downs to him, but I think he's somebody that should be on your radar this draft season. So first off, starting with his offensive receiving and touchdown market share, he has a very prototypical 1980s or 1970s style running back. 77 percentile in terms of total offensive market share, 31 percentile in terms of receiving market share, and then 78 percentile in terms of touchdown market share. Based on all of his numbers, he doesn't hit all pro averages, the Pro Bowl averages. He does hit a decent amount of the starter averages. Kyle Monangai has some negatives in his data that kind of hold him back a little bit, but there are some positives here that kind of point to potential starter. He's that type of running back that every year we talk about you can find running backs anywhere. He might be that guy this year, even though he does have some negatives in his data. The other aspect of him that I think is also very interesting is his touchdown percentage, yards per reception, and yards per touch. This is another area where he kind of lacks a little bit. His touchdown percentage is 50 percentile. His yards per reception is 63, and his yards per touch is 31 percentile. As you can see here, doesn't hit the all-pro averages, Pro Bowl averages, but does hit at least one of the starter averages in terms of yards per reception. Now, looking at another potential negative in his data comes down to his age and competition data. Based on his numbers here, he had a 31 percentile age score, 69 percentile in terms of his MSA rating, and then 55 percentile in terms of his pass rating. Based on all of these numbers, this is not a all-pro Pro Bowl running back. This is somebody who more so is in the starter pile to rotational back pile, but is still a value. There's still value to him. And I think the biggest area where he really shows up comes down to his first, second down, and third down data, and also his red zone data, which we're going to see in a little bit. But based on his first down data, he's pretty much solid across the board. So you look at the first down situations, his cumulative score was 68 percentile. Second down situations, cumulative was 61, and then third down situations was 68. In particular, he had a 81 percentile in terms of getting first downs in second down situations, and he was 73 percentile in terms of getting first downs in third down situations. He's very good in terms of getting those first down conversions in those crucial downs and distances, especially in terms of third down situations. And I think where it gets even more interesting in terms of his data is when you look at his red zone analytics. His overall cumulative score in the red zone is 85 percentile. TD percentage was kind of low though, 23%, but his 10 plus or percentage of 10 plus yard runs in the red zone was 95 percentile. There are some inconsistencies here, but this is still a solid all-around profile. In terms of his ability in the red zone situation, 85 percentile is above average. When you look at his overall data, you're looking at an above average running back from the college football level who does have the potential to do some interesting things. Now, the metric comparison, taking a look at all of the running backs in my data sheet, we're looking at maybe 3,000 to 4,000 plus running backs guys, all the way back since the 1969 NFL draft class. And taking a look at this data right here, the best comparison for Kyle was Paul Smith. He is a former day 3 selection of the San Francisco 49ers. When you look at his total offensive market share, receiving market share, TD market share, his efficiency scores, his age and competition scores, and his expected approximate value, he's almost a identical back. The only difference being that Paul Smith was a younger running back coming out, whereas Kyle had tougher strength of competition compared to Paul Smith, who played at the University of Texas, El Paso. But overall, when you look at their overall usage, when you look at their efficiency traits, you look at all those other sort of things, and of course, the overall expected approximate value of these two prospects, they're virtually very similar. That's what Kyle is based on his overall data. He's a back that could potentially become a starter. He's a back that can potentially become a rotational guy. But I think he's getting lost in the sauce because he was invited to the Combine. He is a back that probably is going to get drafted in day 3 if he does really well at the Combine, which I think he might. He might do well at the Combine. He wouldn't be invited if he was just going to stink it up. So based on this overall information, I think he's somebody to keep an eye on. And if you are already in dynasty leagues and you have the ability to draft players for the combine, I would highly recommend that you do so, because if he does in fact blow up the combine, puts up crazy ridiculous numbers, he might be a great trading piece to get more assets in the draft. You are expecting this player to have a combine bump, and then you trade them, and then you get more assets to get better players over the long haul. This is not to discount his talent at all, but he's more so a talent that once he hits that peak production, or at least his draft equity, he's somebody that you can get rid of and then get better pieces to build in the draft. That's kind of how I view him, as sort of that type of player. Other than that, if you do end up drafting him, expect him to be sort of a starter, rotational back, that would be kind of the ultimate upside for a player like him. He could surprise and turn into a 64 start type starter. There is some potential for that, but overall, solid prospect. He is somebody that needs to be on your radar because there are some positives in his data. Those conversion rates are solid, and his red zone ability is solid, and everything else is pretty much solid. So with all that stuff out of the way, thank you guys so much for watching the video today. My name is Jim Cobern. Please check out my other work at patreon.com/jcoburn. Also check out the other videos on this channel. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.